welcome to another song title challenge where the question is, climbers, how would you write this one? What we do here is we've got climbers, listeners of this podcast, sending in their song titles. You can send in one, you can send in 20, send in as many as you want. God bless you. Send them to info@daredevilproduction.com. Production is singular. There is no S. info@daredevilproduction.com. Put song title challenge in the subject line so it gets into the right folder. If you don't, it won't, okay? And that's on you, not on me. But send in your titles. I put them in the right folder. I spring them live to Brent on this show. There's a quick little pull-out episode where like 15 minutes. We try to do what you need to be doing to prepare for a song write, or if you're writing your own songs, what you need to prepare to write with yourself. And sometimes it happens in the room, but it is a fun creative exercise where you cook up 5 or 6 different conceptual angles to write the lyrics from based on the title. So before you just start putting pen to paper and coughing up the most cliche, bland, predictable way that you can go with the lyric, which is, I think, probably one of the biggest issues I see with amateur songs is that part, that this little 15-minute component that we do every other Friday didn't happen.
Right, you're right.
And it needs to happen. And you'd be amazed at what you can do. Now, the other benefit of this, the side benefit, is that this will breathe life into your old hooks and your hook book. Stuff that's 4 or 5 years old, you haven't thought about it in forever. It had some energy, you had some ideas that you wrote it down, and you took the energy to do that, but then it becomes like, I call it wilted lettuce, where it just sort of disappears and you just don't think about it. But if you go back and pick that title, no matter how bland you think that title might be because it lacks energy, then lo and behold, you can cook up something that you never even thought of when you originally wrote it down.
Oh, yeah. I've been so pleased with the results. And if you try to make it a regular practice every day, every other day, or whatever your thing is for 15 minutes, you grab your list of titles, randomly pick one. I don't know, come up with a number, just go down the list and pick the next one on the list and go, I'm just going to riff on this for 10 minutes to see what I come up with. It's like a creative warm-up, but it also may just get the wheels turning and go, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it's low pressure, so there's very low stakes, but it's all upside. It's all upside. Like, worst case, you lose out on 10 minutes, but you exercise your muscle. So you're still a little stronger now.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, there's no greater pressure than staring at a blank page and having to write lyrics. But
like, now's the time to write my song. Oh,
right.
So
but we're not here. We're not even talking about writing lyrics. We're just talking about the angle. And so then if you go down this exercise, there's nothing to put on paper. It's just concepts of, okay, this angle, this angle, this angle. And then all of a sudden you nail that one that's like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
It's almost not even fair because you're commanding the muse to show up, aren't you?
Man, it's so much fun. You're just so inviting. So a cool thing that happened, I don't think I've told you this, but we've been talking about that song I wrote with Patrick Adams and Brad Hacker and Chris Tiscarino. Anyway, so, we did the demo of it. We song title challenged it. What they brought in was kind of, not very interesting for that title. So I challenged them to song title challenge. Or Patrick actually said, can we song title challenge this? Yes, Patrick, we can. We did.
Yeah, Patrick challenged everybody. Yeah.
He was like, can we do this? I was like, oh, yeah, we can do this. And so we did it. And we came up with an angle that we all liked way better. And so I pitched it. I pitched it to an NR person for an artist. And he and I talked about it. I pitched him a couple of things like, yeah, that one I liked. With the title, I was he was basically prepared to not like it.
Yeah, prepared to hate it.
Because he thought he knew where it was going. He goes, but that angle on it I thought was really cool. I thought that was cool. I hadn't really heard that angle. That was a lot more fresh. I was like, That's why we song title challenge. Because if we'd gone the other way, I wouldn't have pitched it, for one thing.
Right.
But it wouldn't have made it past him. But now he's like, oh, that's cool. And this is an A&R person who listens to a ton of songs going, oh, I didn't see that angle coming. That was more fresh and unique. I thought that was cool. There you go. It ain't just me talking.
Already, now you've got him in the first couple of lines just because it's almost like you set him up with the title and then you ambush him with the lyrics because they're like...
Yeah, it just wasn't what he was expecting. You thought the title was going to go one way and was like, well, and that was the original version. I was like, we can't go that way. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to serve us, help us reach our goals. This way, at least it has a fighting chance. So we'll see.
I predicted,
but at least, first feedback we got from an A&R was like, ooh, I really like that angle on it. That was cool. I was like,
That's right. If one says it, a bunch are going to say it, and somebody's going to jump on
Hopefully a bunch won't have to. Hopefully just go ahead and get cut and we just, put it to bed.
Yeah. You're going to get a cut on this one. I can tell. Just because it's like, it's really good. It's really good.
Oh, it'd be a good story. All right. So what do we got today?
All right. So this is from climber William Gunnell.
William.
And my name's Dwinell, so I'm just going to say Gunnell. I don't think it's Gunnell. I think it's Gunnell. And the song title is Heart Like a Mason Jar.
Heart like a mason.
Like a mason jar. Okay, so my prediction, first of all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Your hot take.
I kind of like this. I kind of think within the title there's some imagery. And it doesn't feel so closed. It feels like it could go some different ways. So kind of, and I've never heard the title before, Heart Like a Mason Jar. Mason jar is very Southern, very, countrified, like you're drinking, apple pie, moonshine out of a mason jar. So I think this is a really interesting title. So
I think I think so too. So thanks for sending that in, William. Heart Like a Mason Jar. Yeah, I echo Johnny's hot take. I think there's a lot of potential here. First blush, I do not know what to do with it, but I want to do something with it. If I saw this on a track listing, I'd be curious, like, what's that? What'd they do with that? It intrigues me.
How'd they spend that?
It intrigues me, which is a great place for a title to start. It doesn't intrigue me going, oh, what kind of train wreck is this? It intrigues me going, oh, how'd they pull this out? What is this? How is a heart like a mason
winning
jar?
Before you're spinning is what
winning
you call
before you're spinning, as somebody says. Yes. So I like the imagery in there. I like mason jar definitely works for a country type song or bluegrass song. It's depending on how you spin it. So how do you spin it? So now I got to figure out, how is a heart like a mason jar? But yeah, it does, Johnny. It makes me think of like moonshine, mason jar. So this is, letting the title write the song. Okay, what is mason jar? It's glass. It's transparent. So it's breakable. It's see-through. It's down home. It's country. It can
lots
come
of
with a
good
lid.
Stuff can go in it.
Lots of good stuff. You can pickle your okra.
Yeah,
or you can pickle your liver.
Pickling. Yeah, that's something.
Or you can pickle your liver with a mason jar.
Pickle your okra or pickle your liver. There you go. Now there's a line. So when you seal them, they're sealed, right? But they can be. Sometimes they're hard to open, but you can.
They can be hard to open. That's true. If it's if you do canning, which
that's what I'm talking about.
Water bath or whatever, or pressure canning, that it creates a seal, a vacuum. Yeah. So you got to pop it open. So it can preserve things. If you do canning, it can preserve good stuff for a long time.
So you can preserve like old love. Like it might be hard to sort of get that out. Like maybe hard to let that old love out to get her or him to open up again.
It's interesting. It makes me think of mason jars. Makes me think of grandma. Talking about canning, it makes me think of grandma. Even though I've done cannings and stuff because country boy, but as much as I can be. So okay. Of course, we're just brainstorming here, so it's a safe space. Grandma had a heart like a mason jar, like you're transparent. You see what's in there. She's not hiding anything, but it seals these memories like canning, right? It seals them and preserves family memories, and she could tell you all these memories. And so you're kind of playing off the canning, preservation, transparency. We'd sit in her kitchen at the bar or whatever, maybe not bar. I don't know, something in grandma's heart like a mason jar. Pulled out all these preserved memories of 1945 and of my dad when he was a kid telling me these stories. And
Grandpa, what's that picture there? It's black and white, not real.
in pictures.
Yeah.
So that could be kind of a cool thing. Very down home, could be like a bluegrassy thing about grandma had a heart like a mason jar. And you're like, what does that mean? Man, she wouldn't hide anything. It was right there for you to see. But it's fragile. It'd break. You want to be careful with it. But it preserved all these memories for the years. And they're still good memories, And she'd open it up and share with us. We'd go over to visit. I mean, so that's cool. Could be just like this Americana down home grandma kind of neat story. Her telling you stories about growing up in the Depression or whatever it would be, right? Something like that would be cool. That makes sense, right? You just see yourself in grandma's kitchen on the farm. Mason jars make sense for that place and that person and that sort of thing. So that'd be one angle, which I think would just be a cool kind of, it feels kind of bluegrassy. Let's see, heart like a mason jar. So let's go the moonshine route.
distillery.
What if it's a love song? It could be a rowdy love song, but you know, she's got a heart like a mason jar, man. You just one sip from it and you'll get high as a kite. You know, that kind of thing. Like basically her love is moonshine, right? When she pours it on
200
you,
proof.
When she lets you have a sip, man, it's just, it's you gonzo. So that could be like, yeah, that could be kind of a cool thing. Like, so her heart's like a mason jar. Her love is like moonshine. When she lets you partake, right, of her love, opens her heart for you. Yeah, man. It's moonshine. You'll get high. You'll buzzed, all that stuff. So it's the, you know, love like whiskey, high, you know, drunk on your love kind of thing. But it's a more rural Appalachian Southern kind of vibe on it, moonshine kind of take on it. So, I mean, that take's been done a bunch, just like I'm high on your love, I'm drunk on your love, that kind of stuff. But it seems,
but it hasn't been associated with the imagery of a mason jar, which is kind of
so
cool.
It's a fresher take on a well-worn topic. And it's, for something about it, it feels like it almost could be sweeter too. Like, how was that Springsteen song, Secret Garden?
Oh, yeah.
She didn't open this up for just anybody, you know, like dust on the bottle kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's mason jar. It's kept it. It's good, simple and country, and will get you buzzed. You'll go blind, you know.
I'm thinking of
flammable.
Oh, there you go. Don't smoke around it. Yeah. Completely flammable.
Like you run a car on it.
That's funny.
What else? What else is a mason jar? I mean, you can sip sweet tea out of it. Sweet tea on the front porch.
You can. I mean, you could name a bunch of. So I got a story that I would tell you for sitting in a writing room. So we're on tour, Kid Gypsy. We're on tour. We're in Rapid City, South Dakota, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. And we get into the bar, and so we're there for a whole week, right? And so the idea is you're playing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to small crowds, but then people come in and kind of check out the band, and if you're good, Friday and Saturday are going to be off the chain, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's this one guy there who, like, this was his gig. We found out this is what he always does, but we had no deal. We had no clue. So he's buying the band shots on Monday, right? Okay. And they're called Windex shots.
Okay.
And so it's grain alcohol with a little bit of blue curacao, so it looks like Windex, you know?
Okay.
And of course, I mean, listen, we're musicians. We never turn down free booze, you know? We're like, oh, yeah, but we don't know it's friggin' grain alcohol, you know? So it's like 200 proof, dude, with the exception of the splash of the blue curacao.
Same thing in there as the food coloring. Yeah.
Yeah. By the time we hit the third set, I'm leaning up against the Marshall stack. I can't even see straight, just trying to get through the damn show. And then the club owner comes in and he's all pissed off at this guy because he does it like all the time. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't know, you can do a couple, 2-3 shots. You're fine. No big deal. But that's like doing 6. Or 7 or 8 shots, like because it's
reaction.
So you think about 80 proof, 2 shots would be 160 proof, and you're still not the 200 proof. It's like 2.5 shots per shot, dude. It was wicked, and so it's like it sneaks up on you. Don't even know, like how. So you could talk about how potent that could be, but like from a surprise angle, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the first time you took moonshine where you didn't know. And Kelly, so another story on the same thing. Kelly's got a buddy down in Louisiana who does moonshine. And once a year he drives up to Kentucky from New Orleans to get the used Jim Beam oak casks to age his moonshine in, right?
Oh, cool.
And every time he comes up, he would swing by the studio and give us like 3-4 handles of moonshine, but it's been aged in those casks for a year or two, right? Mm-hmm. So it's got color, it's brown.
Yeah.
And he puts them in friggin' Jim Beam bottles, right?
Yeah.
And so we would put, because we kept it at the studio, we would put in big black marker, like, this is moonshine, you know? And inevitably, like, we'll be out with a friend that just stops by or whatever, and all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock and they're down. Like, dude, I think I got to go home. I don't know what happened, but I'm hammered. And he's like, I only had a couple cocktails. I'm like, oh, did you take it out of the Jim Beam bottle, dude? You're gone, you know? So something around that where if you don't know, you don't know.
It's like, you know, you got that mason jar. Oh, it may look like water.
Yeah.
It may look harmless.
It may look.
But you got a heart like a mason jar.
Like
that can be water or that can be something way more potent.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know what you're going to get. It can make you feel
really good or light you on fire.
Right. Yeah. It could be water. It could be sweet tea, or it could be moonshine that ends your life or makes you feel great. So, yeah, that could be a thing too with her. Like maybe you just never know what's in it. Although mason jar, you see through it, so you at least have an idea.
Both of those instances, you can see. But it wasn't like they were giving me some blind taste test. Like you just don't know what's in the solution, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because water or moonshine may look the same. Yeah, maybe it'll both clear. So that's cool. I was thinking too, like Grandpa had a heart like a mason jar tucked away on a shelf in the back of a barn, just dusty and empty, you know, with nothing to do since Mom passed away in 82. Or since Grandma passed away in 82. Oh. You know, it could be like, you know, what else about a mason jar? That sounds like something you could find in the back of a barn on a shelf, empty, full of dust and spider eggs.
Now I think about garages with you ever seen the mason jar, like the homespun mason jar
light
thing in the garage where you put all the
you put the screws,
the bolts and nuts and yeah,
that's cool.
And it's that little spin thing because keep tools in there.
So that's a thing. So I like it's definitely more down. I like the empty cobwebbed mason jar. The heart is just, it hasn't been used. Needs some cleaning up. It could still hold a lot with something to be good for something, to be value. But as it is, it's just sitting in the dark. Grandpa had a heart like a mason jar. Or maybe he tucked it away in the dark. He did it to himself, like after Grandma died or whatever. And he just hard.
Yeah.
Back of the barn, Grandpa had a heart like a mason jar.
Yeah.
Used to hold love, but it got poured out, got emptied, used up, and put away. Never filled up again. Sad.
Dust on the bottle, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the opposite of dust on the bottle. But it could be a mason jar. And, I guess you could store moonshine in a mason jar for a long time. Could you do?
Yeah. It's not going to go bad.
Believe me, anything that gets in it will go bad. It will kill anything that approaches. So don't stare at it too long, son. Kind of the little dust on the bottle. A heart like a mason jar back of the shelf in the dark. But man, it's like if you open it up, it's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's so much a guy. It feels like a female sentiment because you open her heart and there's so much power in what's in there. That feels like you're talking about a female more than a dude. Dude, you open my heart, I will love you so much. I don't feel that. Powerful love. I'm not feeling that so much for like a dude, but maybe her heart's in a mason jar tucked away, in the back of the barn kind of thing. Real country girl. So, because her life is hard or whatever, but she's got powerful stuff in there. This is a tricky one, Will. Heart like a mason jar. I'd be curious what people.
What else do they put in mason jars? People do canning, but they also make jellies and jams. Real sweet stuff.
Jams and jellies. Yeah. So moonshine, nuts and bolts, storage, buttons. Grandma's sewing room jar full of random buttons. As Ted Kooser would say, a core sample from the Sea of Mending, from the bottom of the Sea of Mending. A core sample. I love that. Let's see what else. Yeah, and like, how do you? Maybe I keep coming back to Grandma because I just think Grandma mason jars just feels like old country, but also because she's lived enough that her heart, like a mason jar, has had served all these different purposes and held these different things. Like it held sweet tea on those sweet Sunday afternoons, sitting with Grandpa on the porch. It held, a little bit of moonshine back in the day, that she doesn't talk about much, but she still will smile a little bit, to let you know, like, Grandma had her day. Yeah.
Little belt never hurt anybody now and again.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. When she gets a cold, she'll break it back out. Holds buttons from when she was making shirts for all of my aunts and uncles and dad. Canning to get them through the lean times. It's full of okra and peas and beans or whatever. And it whatever it needed to be, that's what she did. Grandma had a heart like a mason jar.
And so grandma could pickle your okra or pickle your liver.
Pickle your okra, pickle your liver. So that could be kind of cool. Just like a case study, your grandma who just, or your mom or whatever, but who always, she used her heart like, and just talking about her life and how she gave. Especially it's cool, like she'd open it up and whatever was needed, that's what she'd do. I don't know the rhyme for jar there, but she had a heart like a mason jar. Like timeless, classic, transparent. You know what was in there. And
the other thing about a mason jar is that it's got a big opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's no bottleneck.
That's true. Pour her love out all over the place.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, there's so many ideas. So I'm not landed on one that just feels like, oh, this is obviously it. I mean, for like more of a modern country take, it feels like moonshine, kind of the drunk on you kind of thing makes sense for that market as far as could be a cool backwoods kind of anthem kind of thing. She got a heart like a mason jar. Hit you hard, make you see stars kind of thing at the moonshine.
I got an idea. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I like a mason jar. You get so high, you see stars. Yeah. How about this? What about the opposite, right? So what is it like? I wish she had a heart like a mason jar, because now it's like something else. It's like, what would be the opposite of a mason jar or something like that? Would that
martini glass?
No, I mean, well, that's no, but like a different kind of jar or something that's closed off or
yeah. Oh, like a mason jar.
Impenetrable.
Yeah. Or, okay, a mason jar you keep, right? You don't throw mason jars away.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever throw away a mason jar? You better say no, Johnny. I'm going to lose respect for you. You don't throw away mason jars. You collect them, you use them, you drink out of them. A closet
full of them. I pickle stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't throw away a mason jar. Now, an aluminum can you throw away.
Oh,
you finish
there
your beer,
go.
you finish your Coke, what do you do? Crush it and toss it. Not her. She's got a heart like a mason jar. You keep it around.
There you go. That's money right there. That's positive. That's it. It took us a while to get there, but that's the one right there. Yeah. So, and then you could talk about all the previous relationships you had and compare them to other bottles or containers, cans, beer bottles, beer cans, Coke cans.
Yeah, crushing it on Friday night, whatever, or maybe.
Yeah.
But if it's like,
nobody ever used a broken mason jar in a bar fight. You know what I mean? I mean,
you chunk it to somebody, it would do some damage. But okay, so let's cross-pollinate this with the grandma and her heart was a mason jar and all the different purposes. Like her heart's a mason. So this girl, my love interest, her heart's a mason jar. Because, man, when she pours out your love, the moonshine thing, right? It'll get you high till you're seeing stars. It's boom. And then also it's a sweet tea sipping Sunday afternoon, right? Because you'll sip sweet tea. So the different aspects of her and your relationship and the way she loves you, this is why she's a keeper. Is what you're saying. She's a keeper. Why? Man, because she's a backwoods Saturday night sipping moonshine, getting you high, and she's a front porch Sunday afternoon sipping sweet tea, just her and you, and what else?
Boom! You're on a roll. You're on a roll. That's like
what else? Lemonade, or the sweet tea, just refreshing. You're right. So you do some digging. Like, what else can we do that makes sense for a mason jar? Makes sense with the different beverages and what that can represent and different times and seasons and rhythms of a relationship. It's not always Friday night and Saturday night. It's that Sunday morning. It's relaxing. It's always handy. Don't want to say like I'm using her, but dig into that could be a thing. It's not some can you crush on Friday night and throw away. No, dude.
Yeah. I used to love a heart like a silver bullet. And then when it got used up, I threw it away. And then I loved something with a long neck, bottle top, pop that up and threw that out too. Yeah. What I'm looking for is a girl with a heart like grandma, with a heart like a mason jar. Like, because you don't throw that away.
If there's a way to do it commercially speaking, so the guy hasn't been a user, like crush them and toss them, right?
Right.
Because I love the double meaning of that, like crush them and toss them. What you do with an aluminum can, like a beer can or something. A good time, crush it and toss it away. I guess you just say she's not one of those. Not that I have. She's not a beer can that you just good time, crush it on Friday night, crush it and toss it away and forget about it. You just say that way. It's not. I used to do this because that way whoever, Jake Owen doesn't have to be that guy.
So you don't get 5 cents for returning the glass. Like, this is something you hold on to.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So if you can do that, that way the singer doesn't look like he's ever been like a user, that guy that would throw a girl away or her heart away. But it's just saying she's not this stuff.
Right.
And then, so if you do that, like first verse, she's not the beer can, she's not the whatever, these more disposable things. Then you hit that chorus, you got a heart like a mason jar, and you do the moonshine and the sweet tea sipping. You only need a couple of those to fill up a chorus because you don't want to overstay your welcome. Yeah. She got a heart like a mason jar. Yep. And then, like, where would you go in the second verse? I haven't figured out yet, but Will, if you would like to. So that might be our ... But
I mean, we got some good looks at that, man.
Yeah, hopefully got you off on a running
We got some good looks at that.
But I think that's cool. Dang it. These are fun and these are frustrating. It's all foreplay.
Just like life.
Exactly. So
until somebody gets poked in the eye with a stick. Yeah, it's fun news. So you set it up. Tee it off now.
Yeah.
If Will wants to finish this song with you.
So, Will, if you want to work on this one or anyone else, I do private coaching, consulting. It's basically your chance to meet me in a Zoom meeting, and I'm at your service. I do private consultations, so you can ask me your questions about the art, craft, and business of songwriting. I look at songs. I do song feedback evaluations. I do private song title challenges. I can help you prepare your song. I can help you repair your song. Basically, I'm here to help you write your best songs yet and get your questions about the music business answered by somebody who's been in it for a minute. And you can find all the details. You can see my calendar, and you can book a session at songwritingpro.com/coaching. That is songwritingpro.com/coaching.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of another killer song title challenge. Send your titles, as many as you want, into info@daredevilproduction.com. Put song title challenge in the subject line so it gets in the right folder. If you don't, it won't. This podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.